I think some of those caricatures link quite nicely into my next question around, which I know you've been asked a lot, but it comes up a lot, is this kind of this misconception about selfishness, and that it's a selfish choice. And it's always felt a bit strange to me that it's kind of something that's projected onto people rather than maybe how people, like anything to do with the reason why they've made these decisions. I just wondered if you could speak a little bit to that as a kind of mythbuster in a way, or any other reflections.
Yes, selfish is definitely a word that is projected against people without children, people of all gender expressions who don't have children. And the idea, I think, is that because being a parent is supposedly such a selfless act, you know, maybe in an ideal world, I don't know, is it an ideal world? Parents put their children's needs before their own. And so the thought of anyone who's not willing to do that or willingly undertaking that role then is that, well, you must be selfish. But I suppose I would ask, is self-empowerment selfish? Is self-preservation selfish? You know, yes, it's really important to me to have a buffer in my bank account. I experience a lot of financial anxiety when I'm living check to check. And that's something that's quite quickly become unmanageable for me. And so, yes, selfishly, I always make sure that I have a certain amount in my savings account, and that would be severely impacted by me becoming a parent. So there's that. It's funny, actually, I have been thinking about another way of looking at this, I suppose. Even since the book came out, it didn't really hit me until afterwards. But I think maybe there is a sense that when you don't have children, you are selfishly not passing on the gift of life to another human being. You're not giving another human being the opportunity to have a life on earth. So I do think there's maybe something of that tied into the selfish tag. Pope Francis has repeatedly come out and branded people without children selfish. And I wonder if that's slightly what he's getting at. But I mean, yeah, there's that can get really deep as well. I mean, I think a lot of people at this juncture in our humanity are sort of saying, well, you know what, it's really, really hard to be a human. And unless I can give a human the kind of life that I would want, a life of ease, pleasure, comfort, a life where they get to, you know, enjoy themselves, a life where going to school doesn't come with the risk of being gunned down by an assault rifle. I mean, you know, to put it bluntly, here in the US, a life where if my child happens to be black or brown, they're not going to be risk being harassed by police every time they leave the house. I mean, I think a lot of people are just sort of questioning, like, what kind of a life will my child have, you know? And so is it selfish in that instance to decide not to bring a child into the world? Well, there's still seemingly so many seemingly intractable kind of social issues, which politicians and world leaders just don't seem to be able to really make any real change on, you know?